I am an American police officer, and this is a true story. I've been needing to get this off my chest for a while. I've obviously changed the names and addresses in the story for legal purposes. I've got a glass of fine whiskey, and I'm thinking I'm ready to share this with you. 2 summers ago was one of the busiest summers my jurisdiction has ever seen. That summer and the previous 6 months leading up to that summer were hell. It seemed like there was just something in the water, something going around. We didn't know why, but damn, people were killing, stabbing, raping, and disrespecting each other at record paces. Everyone was burned out and maxed out on overtime. I needed a unit to respond to 1273 Maple Eve, in reference to a 4-year-old child who is beyond parental control. My partner was further behind in his reports than I was, so I volunteered to respond solo. We joked a bit how hard it could be to control a 4-year-old. I got into my patrol car and responded to the address. It was incredibly hot evening in August. The dash thermometer put it at 103 degrees. I pulled up at the address and noticed the front door wide open, along with all the windows. I began the ascent up the front steps to the house. I could hear soft sobbing coming from the other room. I announced myself and knocked on the door frame. "Hello, Officer Garner. Here to speak with Cindy about a 4-year-old." I heard the sobbing turn to sniffling. "I'm coming." "I'm Cindy," she said. "What is it's going on today?" I could sense something was different. Off. It made me damn nervous. Cindy's eyes revealed months of distress. I was not there because the parents got tired of threatening to take away the iPads from their bratty kids. Cindy gave a slight head nod and stepped outside on the front porch to speak with me. "Officer Garner, I don't know what to do. We're at the end of our ropes." Cindy then went on to describe everything they have been through since they adopted the little girl, Kelly, about 6 months ago. Cindy described Kelly was a little angel when they first met her. The adoption agency really wouldn't say much about her past. They figured she's so young, how bad could her story be? In the last 6 months, they have taken her to every doctor in the Pacific Northwest. They all just diagnosed her with some new alphabet soup disorder and sent us on our way, she explained. She's too young to go any of the heavy medication. It would kill her. At this point, my curiosity struck. I explained to Cindy there really is nothing that I can do for her, that she can't try it already. And then I said the words I later could come to regret. But I'll come and talk to her. Cindy mentioned with her head for me to follow her inside. As soon as I stepped foot inside, sweat began dripping down my face. Why is it so hot in here? Oh, I should have warned you. The air condition broke last week. We called everyone in town, but nobody seems to be able to fix it. The floor was wood. Old wood. The kind of old hardwood that squeaked with every step you took. We rounded a corner, and I could see a child laying on the couch, maybe a preteen, judging by his eyes, I guess. A blanket covered over his head, but a faint glow shone through the blanket. It looked like he had some sort of tablet. It stood out to me because it was so damn hot in this house. "Thomas," Cindy said to the figure on the blanket, "we're gonna have your father bring Kelly upstairs. You may want to go on a walk, buddy." Thomas didn't think twice. He flung the blanket to the side and grabbed a basketball, laid down the tablet, face up, and practically ran outside. Cindy grabbed a kitchen chair and drug it out from the kitchen table. She faced it towards a set of stairs that went to a basement. "Have a seat, Officer Garner." "Oh, ma'am, please, just call me Tyler." Cindy's facial muscles tightened ever so slightly. It was a glimmer of appreciation. Everything she had done up until this point was labored. Stepping out the front door to talk to me, walking into the kitchen, dragging out the chair. Everything she did looked like drained the little bit of light flickering in her soul. I sat in the Victorian-style wooden chair. "Mikey, Tyler is here to speak with Kelly. Could you bring her up, please?" Cindy then maneuvered, putting herself behind me. I don't think she did this consciously. Her hand went up to her forehead, but she never once turned her back to the staircase. I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. I saw the man I assumed was Mike or Mikey, and his arms were Kelly. She had jet black hair and pale white skin. She was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, a trained observer. I caught a glimpse of bruises on her elbows and knees, bruises on the joints like that are not usually a sign of child abuse, but I made a mental note. Mike set her down on the hardwood floor about 5 feet away from where I sat. She was facing away from me, sitting with her legs crossed and head down. I started in silence for a few moments. I watched her pick at the skin on her knees. Her fingers scratched at her skin in a rhythmic, pulsating manner. I cleared my throat and said in a gentle, welcoming voice, "Hi Kelly, I'm Tyler." Her fingers stopped. Slowly her head rotated to the right until her gaze struck me over the shoulder. I instantly felt cold. The little girl, in one rapid, violent motion, flipped around facing me on all fours. Shaking, I leaned back in my chair, eyes wide open and mouth open. My gaunt hand twitched out of instinct. Staring straight at me, no through me, she let out a horrific, ear-piercing scream. I locked eyes with her. Her eyes were black, no color at all, just black. Suddenly, in an instant, her head fixed down to the ground and her jet black hair hit her face. It was not human how she moved. She stood straight up and then let herself drop to her knees. She did this over and over and over, from a straight posture to a short jump and then falling straight on her knees. I thought my ears were going to bleed from the high-pitched scream. The sound of her knees dropping on the aged wood floor sounded much heavier than that of a small child. The scream changed pitches from high to low, deep, devilish, demonic. This went on for several moments. Then, out of nowhere, it stopped. She turned back towards Mike, who had made this way to a chair across from me without me noticing. On all fours, like some kind of animal, she crawled and shuffled to a spot between Mike's legs. She looked up and said, "Daddy, please don't let that man take me. I want to stay here with you." The best way I can describe her voice was that of a grown man trying to sound like a feminine, small child. I drove back by the house a few days later. Everything was gone. They had moved out and short sold their house. I spent a considerable amount of time trying to follow up with the family, but it's like they disappeared, fell off the face of the earth. All the phone numbers were changed. I'll probably never know where they went, but I'll also say things around town seemed to calm down after they left. By Terran Thigh Top 176. I'll put it on the screen right here. Thank you. My name is RedFlags, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.
When we come to see